to talk to you about a little character that many don't consider to be a slasher. Now, you got your Freddys and your Jasons and your Michael Myers, Leatherface, and the Pinheads, even the Creeper. Now, I've been known as a Creeper myself, but that's a story for a different day. So, the character that I'm talking about is known as the Terminator. Now, you see, there's been 3, 4, maybe 5 sequels that have came out since the first movie, you see. But then they all considered sci-fi action movies, but many forget that back in the 80s, the time when people had the Jerry curls, the afros, and all that androgynous shit, people forget that the Terminator was actually a scary character at one time. Now, with that being said, I think it's time to go into the Terminator movie review. Duh. So y'all, this is Halloween Day, and I'm wrapping up my Halloween series for the month with a movie that many consider not to be a horror movie. Because 2, 3, and 4, and 5, and I think this is the 6th one, Terminator Fate, which I'm going to watch this weekend. But I had to talk about this first one first, because people forget that this was a fucking slasher movie. Speaking of slashers, me and my boy Q Reviews put together an awesome-ass video that y'all need to check out. I'm going to put the link below in the description. It is the Mount Rushmore of slashers, the illest slashers of all time. We have a full discussion about it, man. Check out my boy Q Reviews if you haven't already. Subscribe to his channel after you check the video out, man. A very funny, talented individual, man. I love his perspective on movies because he puts a lot of comedy into it, but also he says a lot of real shit at the same time when he discusses, the films that he's reviewing. So, that's my dude right there, man. Check him out, Q Reviews. And make sure you click on the link in the description for the Mount Rushmore of slashers. Now, what constitutes a slasher film? You have a killer that uses a weapon or many weapons to take off many people or take out many people in the film. And there's usually a heroine that survives at the end that musters up the courage and the strength to take out this killer, this monster. And that's the formula of the Terminator. So, okay, real quickly, Arnold Schwarzenegger, who is the T-800, is sent back in time to kill Sarah Connor because Sarah Connor is going to give birth to the man that saves the world. And Skynet, who is Terminator's boss, ain't having that. Skynet is the AI that man created that turned on man, destroyed the world. John Connor rises from the ashes and says, "Nigga, we taking our shit back." Skynet says, "I got a trick for your ass. I'm going to send something back in time to kill your mama so you was never here. Now, run tell that." So, that's the story of Terminator. So, Arnold goes back in time to kill Sarah Connor. Now, okay, 2 is the best movie, okay? So, I think most people agree Terminator 2 is the best of the franchise. That movie just took shit to a whole nother level. I saw that in the theater as well. It was a great experience, and at the time, being 11, 12 years old, I was like, shit, this is the greatest movie ever. I actually buried the first Terminator. Like, I never wanted to watch it again because I was watching T2 so much. But it's like, your thinking changes after a while. So now, fast forward some years later, I'm watching the first Terminator, and I'm like, holy shit, I love this movie. I love it. This is slasher, like, horror 101. And I love slasher films. So, over the years, I've but I've enjoyed the first Terminator more. But not to say that Terminator 1 is a better movie than T2. It's just that I can watch the first one more than I can watch the second one. And I think the reason is that the second movie, though it is really great, but there are some times where, admit it can lose you a little bit, especially the director's cut. The movie, it does like come to a screeching halt, and it does kind of slow down and lose you for a minute. But that first Terminator, from beginning to end, it was Arnold as a T-800 pursuing Sarah Connor. Like, he was pursuing her like Jaws, like a shark. He did not stop. So every scene in the first Terminator was either Arnold either pursuing her or Kyle Reese giving her backstory of what happened. But either way, there was always something going on, and it kept you engaged. And the first one was actually scary because you have this ultimate killing machine, this unstoppable force. He's a fucking machine, literally. And the only protection that he has, well, the only protection that Sarah Connor has is not another Terminator, but a man, just a man, Michael Biehn, who plays Kyle Reese. He's her only protector. And especially when she was like, you know, can you stop him? And he's like, I don't know. Like, with these weapons, I don't know. He's not sure if he can stop him. Now, T2, they sent another Terminator in time, so it evens out the playing field. You know what I mean? But even though Arnold is a more obsolete version than the T-1000, don't get me wrong, T-1000 is one of the most badasses ever put on screen. But, you know, with Arnold being a Terminator himself, it, like I said, it levels out the playing field. It makes it a little bit more even. But in this one, you're talking about just a man against a machine. How the fuck is he gonna stop him? And like the music, the score, just even the look of the film, it had like a gritty kind of look to it. And the score made it look scary, you know, that doom, 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 doom. Like, it was simple, but it was scary. And I tell you, the part that got me as a kid was the first, I think after the first face-off that he had with Kyle Reese. And he was, you know, Arnold was kind of fucked up. And he took the, what's the shit called, man? The little knife, and took his eye out. And then he, you know, was fixing his arm. At the time, like, you watch it now, it's laughable because you got, okay, it's 84. But at the time, when you saw that, I was like, holy shit, like, this guy's really a machine. As a kid, I didn't know the difference between reality and fantasy. So I was like, this guy's really a machine. And I tell you, the part where I really lost my fucking mind, where I really lost my shit, was at the very end. This motherfucker's supposed to be dead. Like, he's been shot. He's been ran over. He's been hit by a truck. He's been dragged. He's everything done possible to him, and he kept coming back, but this time he has to be dead. When he got caught on fire, the truck exploded, boom, end of the movie. No, this nigga rises from the ashes, full endoskeleton form. First time we've ever seen it. And I watched that and I said, all right, I'm having nightmares tonight. I'm gonna have me a nightmare. And yeah, man, and Michael Biehn, Kyle Reese, God bless him, he tried his best, but, you know, Arnold took his ass out. And that was the beauty of this also, was that the character of Sarah Connor, who's not your average I can't talk. Sarah Connor, excuse me, who's not your average scream queen, try saying that fast 3 times, you see her character development through the whole movie. So you see her at first as this timid little aw shucks type waitress, and then by the end of the movie she becomes badass. And it happened so organically. It wasn't like an automatic like switch, like all of a sudden she goes from him to now. No, it was a process. It was a transition. So by the end of the movie, especially after Kyle Reese dies, you see her become this, like, you know, like the Sarah Connor that we know now. And I love that about this movie. So yes, the Terminator is a slasher film, but I guess they don't, you know, many don't consider it a slasher film because it is like almost the ultimate slasher movie. Let's be real. If you compare it to other slasher flicks, man, the intelligence and the effects and the care that went into this movie, the performances, the terror, this is the perfect slasher movie. To me, it's the perfect slasher movie. Arnold's T-800 was the ultimate slasher. Now, in the sequels, he's become more of a caricature of that. You know what I'm saying? He's more comedic. He's more like, he's still a Terminator, but he's not a Terminator. He's not scary at all. He's the hero. He's the protagonist. And I get that because Arnold became a big star, so of course they had to make him that way. But that first movie, he ain't play with your ass. This dude just kept coming and coming. And who can forget that scene at the police station? Not only the police station shootout, but who can forget this scene?
He'll find her. That's what he does. That's all he does. You can't stop him. He'll wait for you, reach down her throat, and pull her fucking heart out.
If you haven't seen the first Terminator in a while, man, check it out. Yes, 2 is the better movie. I'll say it again. 2 is the better movie. 3 sucked. Salvation sucked. I didn't watch Genesis, but I will watch this one. I've been hearing some good things about Terminator Dark Fate, so I will watch it because I feel like a traitor. I've been watching all of Sly's stuff, you know, all his comeback movies, and I feel like I turned my back on Arnold. So, yeah, man, I think I'm gonna give this one a shot. But honestly, I checked out after the third one. After the third movie, I had no desire to watch a Terminator film ever again. I want to remember it as 1 and 2 being 2 of the greatest sci-fi films of all time. And yeah, you can put 1 in that sci-fi category, but yeah, to me, it is sci-fi, it is horror, it is slasher. And that's all I have to say about that. So, The Terminator, 1984, James Cameron's The Terminator gets A fucking plus. Made by one of the greatest directors, you know, starring a future superstar, Arnold Schwarzenegger, Linda Hamilton, Michael Biehn. Classic, man, ahead of its time. So y'all, what did y'all think of the first Terminator? Comment freely below. Thank you for watching. As always, this is Rashad G signing out. I'll be back.